this where I should stand? Okay, someone will let me know otherwise. My presidency began while we were all in what I consider to be this gray area. We were no longer locked down, but we weren't yet unlocked from the worry, fear, and mistrust and confusion. To top it all off, there were divisive political events that thwarted our efforts to come back safely, because in addition to the uncertainty about the virus resurfacing, there was tension about what would be said or not said to each other in the parking lot or at a Shabbat Kiddush. My two goals this last first year were simple: bring people back into the building and create opportunities for everyone to feel connected. To be honest, for the first few months, it seemed like these goals were unattainable. Every Shabbat, I counted the number of people who attended the service. Too few people meant that we were not re-engaging the shul community. But having larger numbers meant greater challenges in keeping everyone safe. People asked, what was the hardest thing about the first year of being president? Hands down, it was the stress that we weren't doing enough for our congregation. However, slowly, I saw signs of change. As the year went on, people began re-emerging in the building. The preschool and religious school were opening up, and children's voices were heard all around the school wing. Our preschool director, Ann Catarucci, and religious school director, Rabbi Alana, and their staff worked tirelessly to keep our schools open and in person through use of outdoor space. For many children, it was the only in-person learning experience they had. Our Power Hour regulars returned with some new faces joining them. The signs of engagement look like book club meetings, adult ed programs, and cooking classes. Many would say the highlight was the gala, where the events of the whole weekend were well attended and thoroughly enjoyed. Although I think the high point was the 9th grade trip to Israel, when 13 of our school-age kids made the unbelievable journey to our homeland and came back with incredible insight and connection to Judaism. As I reflect on this last year, I believe that we have achieved those goals that I challenged us to and continue to do so. Even though we are still offering most events in hybrid format, we are finding fewer people attending online and more people attending in person. A few weeks ago, the Tikva Task Force held an event on a Sunday where over 60 people attended, and we regularly plan for 70 to 100 people who eat Kiddush lunch together on a non-B'nai Mitzvah weekend. Although we are not back to completely pre-COVID numbers, I have to say this community is thriving. Although I led the charge this year, I cannot take all of the credit. There are many people in our community who volunteer time and energy to create great programs. Those who are not leading programs are supporting them just by attending. All of these people are who I consider to be the heart of CBJ. The heart is made up of the people who put time, energy, and love into serving our community. I'm so grateful to them because I could not lead the congregation without their help. I spoke at the annual meeting about a YouTube video that I watched. I found it very inspirational. It reminded me of the volunteers of our CBJ community. In this video, the motivational speaker, Simon Sinek, describes his philosophy of what makes the highest performing teams in the world. He said it is not the strongest or the smartest or the wittiest people that make great team members. It is the person who has the ability to dig down deep and find the energy to help the person next to them. He says giving to another, having someone else's back, makes the highest performing team not their strength and not their intelligence. It is their willingness to be there for another person. Being there for one another is what makes the heart of our community stronger. On the whole, our synagogue is in a very stable place right now. We are comfortable in our finances because so many of you have graciously stepped up and increased your dues, and our congregation is growing larger each month as new members join us. In addition, we have upgraded ventilation systems and outdoor options to meet everyone's comfort level. And we recently were awarded a grant for improving our security systems. The synagogue is solid. However, I believe the heart can be stronger. I have learned as president, the urgent often gets in the way of the important. It is sometimes difficult to remember the big picture of why we are here, which is why this coming year I chose to simplify my goal for our community. Let's make the heart stronger. To do this, we will need the whole congregation to step up a little more and be there for each other. For my high holiday appeal, I encourage everyone to make a pledge of service. All I'm asking for you is to consider volunteering an hour a month. Think about your own skill set, time limitations, and interests. If you have an idea of how you can help, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, there are many areas where we can use your support. I'm excited to see what impact we can make if we all step up in whatever way possible. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you over the course of the high holidays. I urge you to get involved in a way that supports others and join me in being part of the heart of our community. Lashana Tova.
Boy, are we blessed. We are so blessed. The leadership at this community is just extraordinary.